Right, thanks for coming, Mr. Ablott. Appreciate you taking out your time to come and visit us today. If you'd like to tell us a little bit about what's brought you here.
I'm here today to present my game design, to see if you would actually like to sell it, if you'd make it and actually sell it out in the shops. So we'll begin. Start off with, show you the trailer. The trailer obviously doesn't really give out a lot of information regarding how the game that's going to work. So regarding the story, starts off with Tim, he's just a regular guy, doesn't think there's anything special, but over time he realises he's actually quite unique. He's a creature called an ultimate. Now they're the most powerful creatures around, and he has to stop his arch enemy, which is also an ultimate, Shade, from taking over the world and letting hell run free and enslaving mankind. Now Tim ends up becoming known as Shadow, and he has to keep his identity secret to civilian people, but you'll go through the game saving innocents, stopping demons, and just basically stopping hell from taking over. Now for the game engines for the games, I would either choose Rage or Naughty Dog's game engine, mainly because they can stream a variety of worlds with the weather working just like it does in real time. The actual time frame of the day, where it changes from day to night, it will work pretty much like reality will. And the graphics are an amazing graphics, which I think will show a more realistic version to the actual game. Unique selling points. The game has stealth, open world and combat within it, and it will seem at first like it's a lot like these specific games like Assassin's Creed, Devil May Cry and the Lego games, the Marvel game. But it's different because it's like Assassin's Creed, you choose to be stealthy, or you can just go and attack people. Whereas with my game, the Ultimate, sometimes you have no choice but to be stealthy, otherwise you won't get through the game. The combat is going to be like Devil May Cry in the sense of the way the demons are, how big the monsters are, and how like monstrous they actually look. And the open world, which kind of goes on to the way you can travel, is eventually through the game you will get to a point where you can fly unlimited throughout the open world and go into the side missions and trying to find all the hidden secrets within the game. Now the upgrade system is going to be a little bit different than most games. Most games you can just upgrade as and when you get to like a certain level, or you have so many points, like experience points. With this, you're not just going to be able to say get certain points and be able to get like up to say Dragon Breath. You have to upgrade through the ranks to get to it, which will actually go on to the way the game becomes victorious. Is you're not going to be able to get to the last few levels without at least getting the basics of like your upgrade system, whether it be your strength, your attributes, or your magic, or your weapons. It's the only way you're going to be able to do it, because it's got to make it look realistic in the sense of you're not just flying through a game in a day. It has to be where you actually have to go and do side missions. in order to level up. Now, regarding marketing for the game, I'd like it obviously to be in some of the bigger game shops like Game, Granger, and even some of the supermarkets like Asda. Now, I understand that with it being a PEGI 16, there's going to be a lot of profit that could have been made that's not, because there's going to be a lot of age groups that aren't going to be able to play the game and buy it. However, the only reason why it has to be a 16 is because, you know, there's going to be violence in it, there's going to be a bit of gore in it, and there's going to be like a sense of, you're going to see people smoking, you're going to see people drinking, and obviously underage people can't be allowed to view those sort of games. That is everything. Thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed this presentation. Does anyone get any questions?
What platform is this going to be released on?
It's going to be released on either the Xbox, either the 360 or the Xbox One, or it's going to be a PC, but it's not going to be keyboard and mouse. It's still going to be joypad like the Microsoft joypads. So I find it'd be easier to play the game because there's going to be a lot of different button combinations. So the keyboard could be quite difficult to play regarding combinations of keys.
What game modes are there?
Sorry?
Game modes.
Game modes is going to be your easy, medium, hard, like most of the games.
Single player challenges.
It's going to be single player. I'm not really going for multiplayer. It's not really a game you're sort of going to be able to do as a multiplayer game. It would probably end up being like some of the games I've seen where you're just running around killing people. It's, you know, it's going to be a bit boring after a while. Anything else?
What's the target audience?
Audience-wise, it's 16s and older really, but it's for sort of any gender that are kind of into this sort of thing. I know obviously at the moment more men seem to be more into like your role-playing games where it's got violence and things in it, but there has been a growing like peak of women that like to play these sort of games, so hopefully it can go for both genders really in the age of 16 upwards.
What sort of price bracket are we talking about selling this at?
I'm looking at more about £35 to £40. And hopefully that, you know, it's not too expensive where people aren't going to want to buy it, and not too cheap where they, you know, it's a bit like might possibly the game's not really very well made, so they're just sort of throwing it off quite cheap. I'm kind of looking in the middle range of £30 to £40 in the game. Anything else? Any other questions?
Let's say this does quite well.
Yeah.
So we're getting £35, £40 pop.
Yeah.
Sell 200,000 units.
Yeah.
So we're making around £1 million, couple of million, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
What about the next year and the next year and the next year? We want to keep making money.
Well, I've had the idea of maybe like a sequel, like, you know, the next one, which obviously it could make it like as if it's exactly the same, which is not the way we want to go. So I've got me a bit of a different storyline to it, how without giving too much away of this game, where Shadow has to sometimes work with the forces of hell because there's going to be a rising of demons that may be getting a little bit too powerful for the Ultimates, so they have to work together in order to stop them, but I can't give too much away about